So as my old friend Kim used to say, here's the sitch. So Spin Martin from Pro Turf Talks, by the way, if you haven't joined that Discord yet, I'll put the link down in the bio, you need to join that Discord. But Spin Martin from Pro Turf Talks told me that I could get more water pressure, water volume, etc., if I put in what's called a maintenance meter, I think is what he said. So I own 2 lots. My house sits on 2 lots here in the subdivision, so it means I have 2 hookups for water. One's hooked up to my house, and then this one is for the second lot. So if someone built the house on this side, if we were to ever sell it, then they could hook up to that water. From what I understand, you can hook up 2 meters to the same water system. So you can hook up a maintenance meter and have a separate one that only gets billed for water and doesn't get billed for the sewer. Sewer being the part where like they collect the water, so like it goes down your shower drain, they collect that water and retreat it. You get billed for that process. But if they know it's only for irrigation, they only bill you for the water, not the sewer. So in theory, it can be cheaper. My city has a process that they told me that they try to get rid of that by basically taking into consideration your sewer over the winter, because they know that people use more water outside during the summer, and they try to get rid of as much of that cost as possible on their own. However, my goal for doing this, we're hooking up to the other water system for the other address, and it's just gonna be for irrigation. So we're hooking that up to a spigot in the back to where I can put my hose and my big sprinkler from bigsprinklers.com, not sponsored, and get more water coverage, more water volume out at one time, so that I'm not moving a hose around as much if it'll shoot farther and cover more area with the same amount of time or whatever. We're gonna experiment with this. I guess you get to see the results of hooking up a spigot. I think they're using a 1-inch connection or a 1-inch pipe going up to, and of course I have 3/4 inch or whatever they are, 5/8 inch hoses or something like that. Anyway, your house has regulators on it. Your house has a pressure regulator, and it has 1/2-inch PEX piping going through there to get to your spigots, and so you don't have as much water volume coming through your house. So I am assured by 5-star plumbing master plumber over here, Ed Moat, that we were gonna get a lot more water volume out of this setup. So I'm getting way too excited about having more water. So the cicadas are ridiculously loud that direction, so I'm gonna try not to do too much talking. We're just gonna test out the sprinklers. The plumbers, I went and got a haircut, see? And came back and the plumbers were done. So I'm gonna test out the sprinkler. We're gonna see how much more volume. I don't have like a scientific way to test this. We're just gonna watch and see what happens. So on my big sprinkler, the tip, the nozzle, I'm not sure what you call it, has to be switched out. So I had the smallest one, I think it's 4 millimeter on the smallest one, and there's a 5 and then a 6 millimeter. So I'm gonna do the smallest one with the pressure, just the water coming out of my house, so you can see what that looks like and what it's been doing when I use that sprinkler just for the last few weeks since I've had it. And then I'm gonna hook it up to the new irrigation and put the 6 millimeter on, and we'll compare it to that, and you get to see what kind of a difference this makes. I tested it out already, so I already know, but you guys have to wait in suspense. This is the 4 millimeter tip. And this is the hose that's hooked up to my house. The spigot that's just directly on the wall of my house, coming out of my house. Not using any quick connects because I didn't want the quick connect. I think my quick connects have a 1/2-inch diameter. I need to get quick connects with a 3/4 inch diameter. I've gotten lots of recommendations. I think I might get like one of each of these that I've gotten recommended to me, and maybe do a comparison video because I'm kind of curious which one I like the best. Anyway, if you have any more recommendations for quick connects, let me know. Okay, so I had to move the sprinkler farther away from the camera, so we're moving the experiment that way a little bit. I just went inside to ask if anybody had the water running somewhere, because right now it's not even having enough pressure to move the sprinkler back the other direction. It has worked before. What I did in the past was I just put the sprinkler out and had it only move in a circle, so it would only go one way, because it's, for whatever reason, like the recoil that needs more pressure to get the sprinkler to turn back the other direction, and that's what it's not wanting to do right now. So it did work on a normal like amount of house water just going this way. So see, when I move it that way, it'll go this way, but it doesn't have enough pressure to go back that way. So there's that. But let's just see how far it goes, I guess, just for the sake of comparison. Let's see how far it does go, so I can measure it and compare, or at least mark it. And I was going to put something down to mark it, but it's basically getting right to the ditch. So I hope you guys can see that. I'm not sure if you can. I'll put this bucket right at the ditch, at the edge of where this water's going. Okay, sorry, I don't know why I had the camera set, well, I had the camera set so low because I had the sprinkler right here, but anyway, I adjusted it. We're gonna put the 6mm tip on and hook it up to the new water spigot. So I'm not sure if you can tell, I was standing over there at the edge of where the water's going now, and that's impressive, right? That the distance is so much further. I wouldn't say it's twice as far, maybe 75% is, I'm not, if I'm reporting that right. So it's not 100% further, it's maybe 75% further. I think that makes sense. So, but the really impressive thing is not how much further it's going, it's how much more volume we're getting out at one time. So in theory, if I'm watering like a 180 degrees with this sprinkler, from what I had before, I might have had to put it on for like an hour and a half or something. I'm expecting maybe less than half the time. Now I haven't measured it. I'm gonna have to measure this and put out my cup and measure how long it takes to put an inch of water out. But I'm expecting it to be a lot less time. And so I'll be moving the sprinkler around more. But what's really cool is I could theoretically put it on to go a full circle and put the sprinkler on that side, and it would water this yard and like the other side of that ditch in the same amount of time that I probably could have before just watered this side. So anyway, I'm pretty excited about it. It's gonna make my life easier. And like I said, I hope that's helpful for somebody, because maybe I'm dumb and I didn't realize that you could set up a second water meter with your city. I read online that some cities don't allow it, but you can get a second water meter hooked up just for irrigation. So again, you won't get billed for sewer, but it's also possible that you might have an option like this. Talk to a plumber and see if there's a way they can hook you up to get more water volume out of your irrigation. So anyway, I'm super excited about it. It's one of those things that maybe us lawn nuts, we're excited about, right? That most people are like, why in the world are you excited about that? But I think a lot of you know how I feel about it. So anyway, I'm happy. I hope you guys have a good one. We'll see you later. Oh, you thought this video was over? No, you're not that lucky. Well, what I've got here is what some people might describe as a little bit of a precarious setup to this hose reel, but those people would be weird because precarious is not a word that you're supposed to use every day. Yes, this is a hose reel. This is from Giraffe Tools. In fact, Giraffe Tools sponsored this video. Thanks, Giraffe, for sponsoring this video. Giraffe also sent a retractable hose reel to Left Tool. Now, Left Tool is not gonna put it up probably at his house because he's moving before too long. I think we've already revealed that. But anyway, he's probably gonna be moving pretty soon. So he was like, I don't wanna drill holes in anything and like put it up on the brick or whatever if I'm gonna be moving pretty soon, but he'll put it up at his new house. So again, thank you, Giraffe. Now, when they reached out and said they wanted to sponsor a video, I said, can your hose reel hold at least 200 feet of hose? And they said, heck yes, it can hold 200 feet of hose. What do you think? Gosh. So here we go. We're going to test it out. See if it can hold at least 200 feet of hose. $200, look at that. And we're right up next to the end there. Yeah, right about 200 feet. That's sweet. So this little doohickey here that goes back and forth is pretty cool because it keeps the hose nice and organized. I have another hose reel. It does not do that. So that is kind of nifty. Again, is not the permanent setup for this. I'm actually going to take all the barbed wire off of this thing. I'm going to leave this, whatever, structure that holds the end of the barbed wire fence in, and I'm going to mount this more permanently to that structure. So let me show you exactly how I'm going to use this bad boy. So I got 200 feet reeled up right here. I've got some extra hose on a quick connect, of course. We love quick connects around here. And then I can take the extra hose, and again, once I get the barbed wire off right here, I'll be able to just wrap a little bit of hose around that. I need to get another quick connect for this end because I'm just going to bring my, you can see my sprinkler running off in the distance. I'm just going to bring that hose over this way, hook it up to the hose reel here, and then the hose goes out to the fairway, and this keeps it a lot more organized instead of it just being strewn out all over the fairway, which I know my head greenskeeper isn't a fan of. So yeah, let's give it a shot. And you can hear the water going round and round and round and round and round. We're gonna see how much volume we get out of the sprinkler over there. Come on! Booyah. I don't know if you can see that. That little rainbow sprinkler is covering, I think this is 1,000 square feet. This is the Iron Cutter Bermuda Tee Box from Mountain View Seed. That's the Iron Cutter. We talked about that before. I'm getting wet over here. So that rainbow sprinkler with my old water pressure, or my old water volume, whatever we're saying, in regards to the new spigot that I've got over there, the old one would not reach this whole tee box. I had to move it twice. I had to scoot it over to get the other end of the tee box, but right now it's covering all the way from this end all the way to that end, and then of course going that way is easy, but it's covering the whole thing. So this extra water volume is And I'm getting wet right here. This is actually coming a little farther than it needs to. But yeah, I know you guys get sick of promotional videos or sponsored videos, this sort of thing, but it's companies like Giraffe that make this golf course possible. So if you like the backyard golf course, then you've got to like the sponsored videos, because that's literally what makes this possible. All these companies that are reaching out, seeing what we're doing and liking it and thinking that it's kind of cool and wanting to be a part of that, we really appreciate them, and hopefully you don't get too annoyed. But anyway, the sponsored stuff, it really helps us out. So again, thanks Giraffe, and thank you guys for watching. I'm excited. I actually put fertilizer out on this morning, so I'm going to let this sprinkler go for a little while and get a nice little wet down on the Iron Cutter Bermuda, but we'll see you guys later.